Hi friends, it's Lauren. Thanks for joining me in my craft room today. I'm grateful to have you here for a sheet load rewind video. This month we are using September 2022 as our inspiration for the rewind. You can grab your sketch over on Call Me Crafty Owl's video, which I have linked down below in my description box. And don't forget, this is a hop, so you can find the playlist in my description box, and it will also be at the end of my video as an option to continue watching and see what everyone else has done on this hop. Jumping into my supplies, I'm using scrapbook.com exclusive. So everything you see that I'm using in my video today to create this card is from scrapbook.com. I have followed the sketch to do all of my trimming and die cutting using white cardstock and pattern paper as well as solid paper from the Darling 6x8 pattern paper pad. And I'm following the sketch to glue this first panel onto my little tiny card base. This is going to end up being a mini slimline size. So it looks tiny here, but you'll see with the sketch, we're going to actually go off and like past the top of the card, extend further past the fold. So I'm just following the sketch to glue my panel together, so my card base, and then that little panel with that adorable stork paper. I've done a lot of die cutting using the Welcome Baby decorative die set. So I'm going to assemble my little pieces here. So I have the little bow on this cute little ruffly onesie, and I'm gluing the center of my flowers to the flowers. And then I'm going to glue this adorable little outfit onto a hanger. I think this is such a cute set. You can create some really adorable baby cards. I also have some leaves, but I'm going to worry about those later. And I'm going to work on what is going to be on this white oval panel. I want to stamp the sentiment. I'm picking one from Mini Circle Sentiments 2, and I'm stamping Hello Sunshine at the bottom of this oval. And then my dies are going to be what decorates the rest of this oval. The sketch features a more, I guess you can say, not so tall and skinny oval. It's a little bit more pointed. I don't know the right words of oval shapes, but it's a little wider than the oval I have here. So I'm going to be playing with the size a little bit since I didn't have something specifically that matched the sketch. There is a die set if you are or not a die set, but a cut file. If you are a member of Crafty Elle's channel, you can get a cut file that will fit the oval shape from her sketch, but I'm just using what I have, and I really wanted to use these kind of longer looking ovals for the card. So I stamped the Hello Sunshine sentiment right onto the bottom of that oval, and I used leather ink from scrapbook.com. And because there's a like opening in the circle, I didn't really think about this when I was die cutting, but I thought it'd be so cute to add a little heart to the center of that oval. So now that I'm done stamping, I can glue these two ovals together. Since it's a nested die set, they fit perfectly within each other. And then I'm going to decorate what's on or what's going to go on the panel. So I'm going to start with gluing the little heart on the inside of that sentiment. And then I'm going to glue the flowers on. I'm going to use the little onesie outfit here as a guide to where I want my flowers to pop out. So I'm just laying it on the ovals. I'm not going to glue it down yet. And then I'll use liquid adhesive to glue the flowers so it tucks behind the onesie. So I'm going to start with this first one on the left, and then I'll add the second one on the right. And then I'm going to tuck the leaves in just kind of randomly, pressing them behind the flower. I do, like looking back at pictures, wish that I would have made my leaves kind of go both ways and not just one way, if that makes sense. Just to give it a little bit of a difference in how they're pointing, but it looks fine regardless. I'm using some 2mm foam adhesive to attach my onesie onto this oval. Now these are 1/8 of an inch strips, and I trimmed it even more because I wanted to get some foam, some stability behind the hanger, and it's a tiny little hanger. I definitely could have just die cut a bunch of hangers and layered them together to get that thickness, but I'm going to be daring, and I made really, really thin foam strips to hide behind that hanger. I'm using my grid here to try to get this centered and straight onto that oval, and I think it's looking really cute. I just love this adorable little outfit. So now I can glue them onto my panel. I did not glue the stork panel here directly following the sketch because my oval is a little longer than what is in the sketch. I wanted to make sure that I didn't cover up a lot of that really pretty pattern paper, so I'm actually going to lower this panel compared to the sketch. So I have my card base and my ovals so I can measure it to be 6¼ inches tall. I know it's sideways right now, but I wanted to make sure that it was going to match the overall size of the card. And then again, I didn't want to cover that really cute stork flying across the pattern paper. Next, I'm going to grab 1mm foam adhesive and I'm going to attach this to just that pattern paper on the blue pattern paper on my card base. So I'm using the width of my oval as a guide, and I just wanted to add some foam adhesive that would be the same thickness as what I've glued already to the card front. So those 2 layers of pattern paper. And then I use liquid adhesive at the very bottom of the oval where it will overlap the stork pattern paper. I'm using my magnet as a guide to where 6¼ inches is, and then I'm gluing this oval as straight and centered as I can get it onto my card base. I think it looks so cute, but let's add those last minute embellishments. I'm going to grab rose gold pearl pops of color, and I'm going to add a little pop to the center of the bow just to bring in more pink into that outfit. And then I'm going to add 3 little dots to the bottom right following Crafty Owl's sketch. So I'm going to start with the 2 dots on the left and the right, and then 1 in the middle so it looks as centered and straight as possible. Here's a final look at how my September 2022 Rewind SheetLoad card turned out. I hope I brought you some inspiration today. I love the softness of this card. The paper is so pretty, and I really love the die cuts. Let me know what you think down below. And don't forget to click the playlist link so you can watch all of today's videos, or you can use the card here at the end of mine. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll click like, and if you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. As always, you can find everything I use down below in the description box. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye!